In 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Well, let's do. I want to hear you do it. Go. You started already.
3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to Don't Make You Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. I am Dustin Nickerson and the host of today's aforementioned podcast. And sitting along beside me in our state-of-the-art recording studio above Public Square Coffee is my wife and CFO and all-around good time, Melissa Nickerson. And we've got Andy here. Andy Lara.
Millions of peaches.
Peaches 4-3. Wow, Freaky Friday episode. Oh my God.
Zoom in, zoom out.
It's going crazy. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. Mel and I are dressed like we're directing 70s adult films today. And
we coordinated
we are
this.
loosey-goosey 2-episode day.
Yeah.
We got a schedule. We're not going to get to any of it. I'm feeling the effects of caffeine, which does not happen very often. Usually I drink caffeine to get me to a baseline of existence.
You have ADD.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am about to run out of this room right now. I'm going to run around these walls. I had a little half cup at home. I had the full cup before this. I am vibrating. I could shake through the walls right now. I could flash.
Nice. You could run through the wall.
No, he
Oh.
doesn't run through the wall.
But he runs. That's his whole thing.
Oh, my. You've seen the movie.
He vibrates through the wall?
I'm done. This podcast sucks. Anyways, guys, thanks for leaving the reviews on this great podcast that we know you guys like. This one right here is from Miss May, 1986.
All right.
I assume that's when...
That's when she was crowned Miss America. 1986.
Just for May.
Yeah.
She was Miss May, 1986. I found Mel and Dustin when they were guests on another podcast and have been listening ever since. Love the humor that comes with real life. Saw him open for Taylor, and my group immediately bought tickets for his next
comedy show.
Closest show because we all wanted more. 4 exclamation points.
Fantastic. Miss May. Thank you.
He phases through walls.
You're right.
That was never in question.
You're right.
It's all right.
I just really liked that spaghetti scene, okay?
Well, it's because it's Michael Keaton. He's my favorite actor. He's unbelievable.
It's the best. Mm-hmm.
I'm crashing already.
Do you want me to keep going? You're dead.
It ended quick.
Crash and burn.
Well, I went really hard there for a while, and then I looked at the clock, and we're 3 minutes in. I'm like, oh no, I'm running the 2 mile, and I'm leading after 1 lap, and
I can't sustain this.
And then they just flip the thing, and I have 7 laps left. When you go and watch your child run the 2 mile, or any person watch a 2 mile, that race is so long that they have to remind the fans and the runners what they're at. So there's literally it's the only time they use the lap count.
I think they use it in the mile too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for the 2 mile, you need it.
You do.
And it just goes click.
7, 6.
Click. I said watching your child run the 2 mile is a lot like the wave at a stadium where you just go, whoa!
Curves. Straight
comes
away.
Back, whoa! Comes back again. But I'm out. I won the first lap. I thought we were running a 400 here.
There's always one.
All right, let's do some dates. Yeah, let's go back to talking about my comedy, and that'll rev me up.
Okay.
Guys, oh gosh, I had to look at my phone because the Wi-Fi's down, and then some people texted me, and now I'm distracted.
Novelty.
November 25th, Arlington.
Washington.
Yeah. December 1st and 2nd, Phoenix. 3rd, Vegas. 7th through 9th, Cleveland. 10th, Liberty. 13th, Columbus. 14th through 16th, Pittsburgh. 17th, Buffalo. 29th through 31st, Indy. Please buy tickets to those shows. They are looking light. I couldn't believe they gave me a full weekend. Yeah. 13th through 14th. Oh, and then we get into January. We've got New York, Kansas City, St. Louis, Philly. February is Portland, D.C., Grand Rapids. March is Spokane, Seattle, And then we've got some more on sale, actually, we're adding, we got Dania Beach, Florida, San Diego, June. That's all on sale now. Just get into it, everybody. Just go buy the tickets to my shows, please. I don't know how much Taylor's going to tour anymore.
We've had a lot of changes.
The next tour is going to be called Kicked Out of Taylor's Nest Tour. Fly like an eagle. Fly is a good word to see how many songs you. I want to get away. I wanna fly away. Yeah. Wasn't there a
Yeah, I can't. It's by Sugar Ray. The Sugar Ray song. I just wanna fly.
Come on, hey, yeah. That's another one. What's the fly? I'm like a bird. I only fly away. Isn't it?
You were born to fly. That's one.
Born to fly.
You were born.
Yeah.
To fly.
I got another classic.
Quite happy.
Come fly with me. Let's fly away. I am killing you guys in this game.
I think that's just a really good lyric.
Fly?
To sing a chorus,
Fly is a great word.
Chorus or
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a great sing word. Swedes will tell you that.
The Swedes will tell you that?
Oh, yeah. The Swedish writers, they'll tell you that.
The fly is a good...
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's kind of in the like mouth kind of terms that you can sing out really well, and it's not a hard syllable on the mic. So it's a big. That's why it's a really popular writing word.
Tennessee's another good one. Yeah. Also, I'll fly away, oh darling, I'll fly away. I mean,
that hurt.
I mean, that's a classic hymn.
Yeah.
It's in. That's what the in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's what they're singing.
Yeah.
They're the not the mermaids, the
Sirens.
Yes.
They're singing that.
I do think the Chicks have a song called "You Were Born to Fly," but I can't really find it. Because it's not the chorus. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how do you reach heaven, and who has that kind of time?
Okay.
And how do you? It's you were born to fly. Yeah.
It's great. It's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I found it.
I annihilated you in that one.
That is.
Andy can usually hang. We did one last. Well, I don't remember what the word was last time, but you hung with me.
Yeah,
but
I did.
Fly, I did like 6 ones.
I didn't have it on this one.
Yeah.
I had one.
Well,
anyways,
did
guys,
that help you?
Mel and I are dressed pretty fly today.
That's true.
We're dressed pretty
in
fly.
the spirit of fly.
We want to give you guys a quick update here. You know where
Getting all serious.
a little,
no, I'm kidding.
a little.
It's a joke.
I would like to land. We've been flying. I had this thought that sometimes I think
Time for a lecture.
Yeah, sometimes I think of a joke that I won't say on stage because it's too mean, but I will say on this podcast. Sometimes I'm flying next to people, and they are the oldest people I've ever seen, and I go, "You are on your final descent." Remember Hawaii?
I think Hawaii is the best example
Yeah.
of that because I do think that's kind of like a bucket list.
Yes.
And families, relatives, they're like, she gets to come, but this is the last time.
Yeah, exactly.
And they board last.
Yeah.
They've got their wheelchairs.
No, they board first.
No, but when we were seated for the Hawaii flight, like 5 to 10 of the oldest
we
people
had Delta status.
got on the plane.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay,
Here we go.
they're coming too.
Yeah. It's like
And-
Nate's old bit where sometimes you look around a plane, you're like, this looks like a group of people that would die in a plane crash. You just gotta look at them and go, oh, young, old, a little bit of everything. Yeah. But anyways, I do have
Lost
a
characters.
plane story to tell you in a second. But
Okay.
we wanna we're really trying to push our Patreon more. The group of patrons we have, you guys are the best of the best. We love you. We're grateful for you right now.
Yeah, we just had a Zoom.
Podcasts are in a weird place right now where there are so many podcasts that, I mean, Kev on Stage talked about this quite a bit, and it's kind of been very well publicized that podcast ad revenue is down. And we've never been like, we're a break-even endeavor here.
Yeah.
We don't, we have made our millions not making our millions. We that's how we've made them. You know, we between the ads that we have, which we're very grateful for, and the Patreon that pays for our studio here, that pays for Andy, that pays for the clips, that pays for it costs money to have fees to get these things out. It pays, you know, there was upfront costs of logos. You put some ads into it. Mostly, it's Melissa's clothing budget is. What is running us in the red, baby? But we are a break-even.
More clothes.
We're a break-even endeavor, which means we are trying to get as many folks to sign up for a Patreon and just give more to our patrons. So, for example, we've started doing a thing where we, Mel and Andy and I are very silly and just idiotic a lot of time before we start and uploading some of that stuff that we would never upload publicly and share with you guys. And we want to get to a point where at probably about 100, I would say 150 would be the goal, patrons, where we then broadcast these live to the patrons. So we get in this studio, we hit film. You can watch, you can comment, you can engage. You know, we just want to give more to you guys. And also, if there's things that you'd like to see more from us that we can give you, in addition, you already get discounts on merch and you get the meet and greet, depending on what level you're at. The monthly Zoom hang is a great time. We just want to give you more of us. Is what we want to do. You know, all things Dustin Nickerson comedy. In addition to the Facebook group, which, you know, you can follow the link in there. You can go talk about the episodes. But we love our pod. We love you guys as Backseaters. We love the patrons, and we would love to see more of you guys join the patrons so we can keep making this stuff. Not that it's not destitute. We're not, you know, but it's again, when you see a lot of these big pods who've kind of been talking about this of just like, podcasts are a 1%er industry.
The industry just changes.
It's top heavy. It's like a lot of things. 99% of podcast downloads are the top 1% of podcasts. So for context, we are a top 5% podcast in the world based on our downloads. The top the top 1% gets, not an exaggeration, 100 times the downloads that we do.
Yeah.
So the gap from 1 to 3, 4, 5% is it's so much bigger than the gap from it's bigger than the gap from 5 to 75%, if that makes sense. Like there is the top 1%, and then there's
everyone else.
And then there's no, not quite. There's the top 1%, and then there's the remaining 10%, which is like healthy. But I'm telling you, 3 through 10% is breaking even, and 10% and below are losing money because podcasts cost money. You know, like so. Anyways, we're not begging. We're not. It's not destitute. Like I said, we're not like we're gonna shut this thing down. We're not Wikipedia. We're not. You get on there if you like using this, give us money. Like, hey man, I just need to cheat on this test or appear interesting at this party. I don't want to give you money.
Let me scroll.
So anyways, that link is in our show notes here on Spotify, on YouTube, on Wikipedia, wherever you're listening to this podcast right here.
Also,
hit me, Mel.
We got our Christmas card, our family Christmas card.
Oh, family Christmas card. That's a big one.
That
That's a good
rolls
one this
out
year.
in December, and you have to become a patron
by
December 1st.
Yeah.
To get that Christmas card. I think it's tier. I think it's 10 and up. I gotta check.
You gotta check.
I don't fact check me right now. It's in.
Don't you fact check me right now.
It's in Patreon. You can figure it out. Patreon. What a pitch! What a pitch!
I wouldn't use the word pitch, but I would have.
Dustin.
What? Just
okay.
die.
Listen. Sometimes you say something and then you want to
rewind it.
So.
But if you're a patron, you get to hear what we rewound.
Christmas cards are coming out. Some patrons qualify for Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, there you go. What everyone qualifies for right now is a stranger danger. We don't have a weekend recap because I have not had a weekend. We have not had a weekend since. This coming weekend, I'm going to be in Nashville performing at the Ryman. My dad's going to be there. My sister's going to be there. It's going to be nice. It's going to be there with Tay. And then I'm going to fly a private jet home to catch Joel's race. So next week's weekend recap is going to be awesome. This week, we don't have much. This weekend, I was at the Fall Festival.
We already hashed that out to death.
Yeah. we hiked on a Sunday. We don't hike on a lot of Sundays. We're midweek hikers because that's very unconventional. A lot of time we finish this podcast and go hike. We haven't done it in a while, but and we Sunday hiked and we're like, who are all these people here? I had no idea this was so popular.
There's a lot of groups.
Oh my gosh.
The 20 people in a group all talking.
Etiquette is terrible. Just let us pass, man.
It was like a group of 20 and they were all having one conversation.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. A little less efficient than we like.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I'm not shaming them. I just don't want them to be on this mountain with me. But you know what? It's a big mountain.
One of my recent hiking drama episodes was a mom on the phone with 2 little kids and a dog. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I could not get around any pairing of that group.
Yeah, a hike passing can be tough. Where do I get through here? It's real tough navigation.
Yeah.
But I have a stranger danger story for you. So I'm flying back from I took a night flight recently. I came home after a gig. It was on my birthday. It was the day after my birthday. I flew home my birthday.
Oh yeah, you did. That's right.
So
late.
I did a gig and then
you
I
weren't
went to the
going
airport.
to, but then you did.
Yeah. So I'm on an American Airlines flight and I'm on my aisle right here. And back one to me. So across and back one from me. There's an old man, and then there's a mom in the middle with a baby, and then and grandma is mom.
Grandparents?
No, that's not the grandparent, but that is the grandma of that baby. So
3 generations in one row.
But the husband,
and an old man.
The old man, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, three women, boom, 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 and then random old man right here. So she comes on, mom comes on, calm, cool, collected, talking a big game about how chill her baby is.
Night flight. He's going to sleep the whole time.
I'm like, girl, this is a 9 p.m. flight.
Texas to San Diego?
I don't know what time zone this baby's on, but I know this baby doesn't want to be up right now, and this baby's up already. So we get in, we get a little delayed.
Yeah.
We're on the tarmac for a while.
I do remember you got delayed.
Active runway.
No.
Mom has to pee. And and that baby was pretty young. And
he's just shaking his
head.
I'm
like, and she's like, I'm just going to get up. And there's next in the aisle in front of me is a captain in a jump, like where, and he goes, hey, you're not allowed to get up. And she goes, I think it's okay. And she got up. Boom. We're not moving, but this is a time she gets up, and old man gets up, has to get up. She's in the middle seat. She walks to the back, and as she's getting on, this is the walk of shame on airlines when you get chastised for getting up.
Yeah.
Dung. Ladies and gentlemen, we just wanted to remind you, this is an active runway. Everybody needs to be in their seats. She comes back crying.
Oh no. Oh no.
She is a mess.
I can't even pee.
Melissa, ask me who has the baby right now.
Who has the baby?
The old man.
What?
Because grandma fell asleep.
Oh no. Before the plane took off.
Before the plane, the support system fell asleep. So she asked the old man to hold the baby.
She did not. That's a chill baby.
And he did. And the baby was chill. She comes back crying. Takes her baby.
And she didn't
sits
get to
back
pee.
down, and I hear, and she's like, I'm so embarrassed right now. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. I keep thinking, this woman's going to pee her pants. Because she is just a crying mess right now. Okay, she takes the baby back. We still haven't taken off. She's crying. She's holding. Thankfully, baby is chill. Thankfully, baby is chill. As we take off, Grandma wakes up. Grandma wakes up and looks at her crying daughter, thinking maybe the baby would be crying. No, my daughter is crying.
Yes. What happens next?
Melissa, she pulled a shot of whiskey out of her bag and gave it to her crying daughter who had to pee. She traded the baby for a thing of whiskey. Mom takes a drink of it.
Just like wiping tears.
Within 5 minutes, falls asleep, sleeps the whole flight, never pees.
Oh, no.
What?
Mom took a shot of whiskey, slept the whole flight. Grandma held sleeping baby the entire flight. It ended up being the calmest, most peaceful row. They had the most chaotic first 20 minutes I'd ever seen in a flight. Grandma gets up.
Grandma pre-napped.
Grandma got a pre-nap in, gave a shot at, like, brought a roadie, as my dad would call them.
Yeah.
Now,
Which
do you
you
buy
are not allowed
That's-
to drink.
Buy that in the airport?
They have broken so many
many
airline rules.
How do you get that through security?
You can buy them.
it in
They
the
sell
airport?
them. They
Yeah,
sell
but
them.
You can't
At the
open
airport.
and drink.
You can't open on a plane. Yeah. They
Oh
pass
my
out. They
gosh.
have the most peaceful flight I'd ever seen. And then I just listened to the two guys in front of me talk about drugs. They're like, oh, man, yeah, I've done like a little acid, but it's a little much for me. Because I was like, oh, yeah, we're going home to San Diego. I was buckled up. I was like, I'm going to watch the biggest piece of anarchy I've ever seen on a flight, which is because on average, I take about 4 flights a week on average. And I was like, this is going to be, I've never seen anything like this.
Settling in.
I couldn't believe she fell asleep.
I can't either. Whew.
She went,
What a roller coaster.
she came on everything, and she was right. They were chill. They just had the craziest 20 minutes. And it goes to show you that what life requires in this life is grandma and a whiskey and a nice old man.
An embarrassment. And
It was
tears.
hilarious. I couldn't
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe it. We got off the plane, and she didn't rush to the bathroom. That was the crazy thing. Is like we got off, and I was like, I'm watching this woman to see. Is like she has to
Yeah.
pee so bad. It's a
Yeah.
3-hour flight.
Uh-huh.
I was like, did you just make it up?
Just absorbed it.
I
Wow,
know.
just reabsorbed
What
it.
if-
Women's bodies are
I
crazy.
know.
Maybe they let her go.
What if she was going to go have the shot in the bathroom and then grandma was like, just take it here.
Oh, just take it here. Maybe that's what it was.
You
Maybe
think?
what it was.
I don't know.
Oh,
No, because she got it out of her purse.
little scheme
that-
there.
Maybe she did go pee when they let her get up, and I didn't realize it because I'm not like, did she go? You know, and maybe she got
Yeah.
chastised on the way back. But
Yeah.
regardless, she came back embarrassed, crying, an absolute mess. And then Grandma Jack Daniels saved the day.
Wow.
It was a good stranger danger.
That's great.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, man.
I'm blown away that people fly with young babies. We've done it. It's hard, but I can't even. We were gonna go to Disney World, and we canceled because we're like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? We live an
Yeah,
hour and a half from Disneyland.
I invested about 15 hours of prep,
Yeah,
learning the ins
Yeah.
and outs of Disney
we
World.
have so
And
many
then-
Delta miles, Marriott points. We're like, let's do it. Let's go to Disney
4
World.
days, 4 parks.
Let's do it.
And you burn all our
Yeah.
hotel points and mile points.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
And then you see how hard your
Anaheim-
9-year-old has doing her homework. And you're like, why am I flying you to Florida?
Anaheim is 90 minutes away.
Yeah.
With traffic.
Yes.
And a lot of people, I did Google Disneyland versus Disney World, and a lot of people came to my defense. They were like, no, Walt built Disneyland. He never got to see Disney World. He passed away before. It's got the original charm. It's got the history. And they kind of sold me on Disneyland.
Well, also, I mean,
because
California
we're not
Adventure-
a Disney family.
No.
And so it was very interesting.
Well, I mean,
It was
also,
full
California
circle.
Adventure is a modern park, though. It's not like just old Disneyland, you know? It's
No,
like
but,
California
like-
Adventure has some of the best rides of all the Disney parks there are.
Sure, but like Walt Disney, like the original, like
Yeah.
Fantasyland and all that, like he
Dude,
crafted that.
I'm
you
there
know?
just for Jungle Cruise. I love old Disney.
Oh yeah. Dude,
Dude, Jungle
Yeah,
Cruise,
the
the
Yeah.
Tiki
Tiki
Room.
Room.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just-
anyone could have called that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Claire has never been.
What's the Pinocchio where they take you to hell?
Yeah. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, am I in hell right now?
But I mean, all the rides kind of took you to hell.
Like,
I was gonna say. Yeah. You went to hell.
At one point in time.
You went to hell when you showed up with your kids.
Yeah.
They're hanging on the bars in line. You're like, get me out of here.
They just reopened Mr. Robinson's treehouse too.
Oh
yeah,
my
the
gosh!
Robinson treehouse. Yeah, so
you can climb up it and everything.
Yeah,
that was my favorite thing when I was a little
Tom
kid.
Sawyer's Island, right?
No, that's different.
Oh, that's different.
The Robinson family treehouse
that you can go in, right?
It's a huge tree.
Yeah.
And it's got all these little decks, and you can climb into it.
That was my favorite thing at Disneyland when I was a kid. Other than when I held a hand that I thought was my dad's, but wasn't, or it might have been my mom's. But yeah,
worst moment of your life.
Well, no.
Well, yeah. I'm kidding. It is a mortifying moment.
It wasn't the worst moment that involved my parents in the next year, but strike that from the record. Yeah.
How old were you when you went to Disneyland?
Like 5. I have my only memories of Disneyland being 5 years old are holding a hand that wasn't my parents on accident, being very scared in the haunted house, and the treehouse. Those are my only memories of it.
I have kind of a similar. We went to Disneyland before we moved to Japan because of military family, and I was going into first grade. So, but we were about the same age. Yeah. And Little Mermaid had just came out, and we were at some treehouse or Tom Sawyer's Island, and I sat on a rock like Little Mermaid in that like wave crashing scene. Yeah. And my parents took a photo of me. I was in my own world.
Yeah.
And because I loved Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Like I was like 6.
Yeah.
You know, when that
you were
came
part
out.
of your own world.
Part of my own world. And then I remember my little sisters, because they were 3 years younger than me. One was really scared of Captain Hook.
Sure.
So scared. And he kept following us around the park. She was so scared. And then
that was the 80s, so he might have been a legit creep.
Yeah.
Hey.
The hook. I want to hear people's Disneyland and Disney World stories.
Great. Send me emails at emails at dontmakemecomebackthere@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Just what about the
like
stories?
Their favorite memories as a child and their favorite memories as an adult.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And you could also say like your favorite Disney movie.
Yeah. We have entered what Melissa likes to call. What are we?
Yeah.
We've entered.
We had spooky season. And now we have sweets are always on the counter season. Just Halloween candy.
Hey.
Just like a chocolate covered nut.
Yeah.
Spiced nuts. We got an apple pie because someone went to Julian. And now we have apple pie.
Pie is around right now.
We got a lot of birthdays.
So many birthdays.
Thanksgiving's about to happen. Yep. Somebody made fudge. You know
how often things get brought into work? We are in loaf season.
We got a pumpkin loaf.
There are loaves.
There
are pies. There are carbs. Carb season.
Sweets.
Hey, your fitness goal has changed. You're not trying to lose weight. You're trying to not gain weight. Maintain, don't gain.
Peppermint bark everywhere.
Life hack, everybody. Take your family Christmas photo in mid-October, or you will be plump. If you would like to be 8 to 10 pounds lighter in your family Christmas photo, you snap that. Snap it during the summer, honestly.
Size up your jeans.
Yeah. Honestly.
In the summer, you got a tan.
We need to.
You've been moving a lot.
You guys, November 1st, every pair of pants you wear should have an elastic band. We are in sweat season.
The kids took a candid picture of us last night because we had like an apple pie.
You look like hell.
We looked so
my
bad.
Gosh.
We're in like t-shirts.
Whose arms are those?
We're like, it's all the angles. Like she was low.
Yeah. I thought my forearm was my hamstring.
Such a bad photo.
I was like,
you said the Dusty Slay joke. I don't look like that.
Yeah, you ever see a photo of yourself and you're like, I don't look like that, but I did look like that right then. Oh my gosh! From a certain angle, it's something like that. It's a paraphrase.
Just like very middle-aged.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's if you want to listen, if you lose weight during the holidays, good for you. I don't want to be your friend.
I don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to hear about it. It's I don't want to have you in my life. I don't want to be friends with the person that loses weight during the holiday seasons. I'm happy for you. I'm just not happy if you're with me.
In a photo, especially.
No, yeah, exactly.
Let's not take a pic.
Yeah. I don't want to be friends with somebody that loses weight during the holidays. I don't. Indulge. Everything in moderation, including moderation. To quote my grandma Isla. 'Tis the season for calories, man.
Absolutely.
Plump up.
Mm-hmm.
You need to act like you are the turkey that's going to get cooked.
Brine yourself.
Yeah. Brine yourself. We're all in gaining season. I mean, I think it's all fair that we, just stow away. I mean, we have a.
Well, that's why people do New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
What are you gonna lose?
What are you gonna resolute if you don't gain before you do it?
Yeah. Well, I think
give up.
I think this is like just kind of a holiday mindset as you get older too. It's kind of like I just had a middle-aged birthday, and middle-aged birthdays just hit different.
Oh yeah.
You start using words like melancholy. How was your birthday? Reflective.
Tried to stay busy and distracted.
Yeah. You're 39. You're like, yeah, my back feels it. My spine is 39.
I don't need any more visual reminders.
Well, yeah, it changes. Yeah. When you're young, it's a celebration of your life, right? You're like, oh my gosh, you're a year older. It's a celebration.
So much in front of me.
When you're middle-aged, you don't get a celebration of life until you die. You're saving
up for the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your funeral.
Your funeral.
Your funeral.
Retirement plan.
It is true. When you're young, everything is it's just not really a celebration anymore. It's just a mile marker.
Yeah. 41 year closer to death.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you have to plan it, and you have to pay for it, and then you have to worry about who's going to come or not come.
Oh, and then
someone says something,
and then your dad doesn't text you, and you're like, phew, okay, not even a GIF,
an emoji,
nothing. What do you? I'm a 39-year-old who we do pretty well. Like, what do you get a 39-year-old for their birthday?
Alcohol.
Truly.
If they drink.
Yeah.
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 Well, I don't
want to spend $80 or $60 on a nice bottle of alcohol. It feels.
I don't even think you need gifts at 39.
No.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, at middle age, what I want for a present is a 6-pack, some supplements, and the opportunity to go back and appreciate my youth.
Some supplements.
Some supplements and some supplemental income.
Couple hours of sleep.
A few more, an opportunity to cherish the years of my young children. A time travel machine to go back and live in the moment. You can't do that? Okay, how about some new orthopedics?
Couple hours off the existential dread.
Yeah. Oh, those middle-aged birthdays, they hit a lot different.
They do.
Here's a question that you asked. I think this is very interesting. This is where we're going to go back into kid life. At a certain point as a parent, you have to decide how bougie are you going to let your kids be?
Yeah.
How many Starbucks a week?
That is tough.
What are they going to...
That is tough because they will ask for Starbucks every day.
Every single day.
Before and after school.
Yes.
Now, is there a Starbucks right next to their school?
Yes, 100%.
And all their activities.
And it looks like the worst Starbucks you could imagine to work for. I can't imagine. I mean, the amount of free waters that you give.
Oh.
And imagine
next to a high school.
And the amount of teens that like loiter around the mobile order to see if that person is there or not. And then if they're not, they grab and go.
They do really hide the drinks, though, from the team.
Because it was happening.
Yeah, they're like...
It was, yeah.
What are you here for?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're really good about that.
So we had one, though. We were at a breakfast restaurant, which we do not eat out breakfast. Breakfast, we don't eat out a lot as a family. No one in our family appreciates it except for Joel, maybe.
Yeah.
But nobody likes it. We don't like it.
Disaster at restaurants.
It's really bad. Yeah. I'm 20 minutes in. I've eaten, and I always go, I'll go get the car. I'm so bored. I can't. It's awful. But and 3/5 of our family has ADHD, which is crazy. And
plus the anxiety.
And the only one who broke down that fraction was the two neurotypicals. So we our daughter orders French toast. No, it was a buffet. She got some. And sometimes when you're at buffets, there's also the waiter or waitress, server, whatever they're called, who comes around and like gives you the drink or whatever, and they're just trying to get a tip.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
She is here.
They bring you the plate, and you're like, what? So you're like, we don't. The whole point of this buffet is that you do not need to be here. We have eliminated your role for this, but here's a tip. And charge it to the room. And we go down there, and my daughter gets some French toast. And
I do not make French toast. Our house doesn't have French toast.
I make freedom toast. Every once in a while
every 5 years.
Every 5 years on the 4th of July, I get up and I make freedom toast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a funny...
It's a gag. It's a very specific moment in American history where people started calling fries freedom fries, and people may or may not remember that. But you know what? The French helped us in the Revolutionary War. We don't need to hate them as much as they hate us. Anyways, I learned that on a podcast recently.
Wow.
But okay,
now we're a history podcast. Back to the French toast.
Our daughter gets French toast. She has a plate full of goodness. It's a buffet. It's all looking good.
Yep.
And she asks the server for powdered sugar. And that's where I drew the line.
We both chimed in. No. You have syrup.
The powdered sugar is nice. We all agree. And you know what? When there is powdered sugar for your French toast, it's great. It's that. Yeah. But it wasn't at the buffet. And they're like, no, we have some in the back. And we're like, no. At a buffet, asking the one server for these 100 tables to go get you.
You got a water and orange juice.
You're already at a breakfast. You're having
fruit,
French toast. You're
sausage.
Soft serve.
Yeah. What more do you need? Go put some ice cream on your French toast. You don't need to have them shake it like the...
you know what I do too at home? Because I make a lot of pancakes on the weekend.
Yeah.
And I will tell this same child, you can have syrup, whipped cream, chocolate chips, 2.
2 of
you
the 3.
2.
You're Panera. You pick 2. You can't have all 3.
Not get all 3. It's all sugar. Pick 2.
It's just
And so where is your line, listeners?
Where it's
like
get on that
no
Facebook group
sugar.
and tell us where your line is. We're going to start. It's actually going to be a little more efficient than the emails. Shoot us emails always at dontmakemecomebackthere@gmail.com. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this too.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your line?
Where's the bougie line?
Where is the bougie line?
So our son has been sick.
Mm-hmm.
Very sick. And he found out about those medicine balls, which is like a Starbucks tea drink.
It's just tea and lemonade.
Tea and lemonade. It's delicious. He got his whole class hooked on them. They probably all tried his.
Yeah.
Spreading that cold around.
Our son started COVID.
And we're like, hey, we can't keep buying you these. They're $7.
Yeah.
And now we're like, you're like all of us. If you have $50 in your checking account, you can't get Starbucks every day.
No.
And
it's more than 10% of your. It's crazy. And then they throw a loaf in because it's loaf season, and you spent 20% of your income on one trip to not your income, your net worth.
Yeah, your net worth
on tea. And
I see his checking account because he has his little side hustle business, which is cool, and he sells vintage clothes, so he has income despite not having like a job.
Sure.
And it's great, but I'll like deposit his stuff, and then I'll be like, "You're down to $6 again." It's kind of fun to remember. I remember the $6 years when you first get like a checking account, and you're like,
don't pay rent, but you have some disposable income.
Yeah, and you're really like, okay, I can get that pack of gum, but not the icebreakers. I can't get the good stuff, but I can get 2 juicy fruits.
We have an ongoing gag because our daughter likes to spend.
Yes.
And
never enough. That's what we sing.
She'll be like at Starbucks and be like, can I get a drink for tomorrow too?
Yeah.
So 2 Starbucks drinks.
Yeah.
And the gag is I've got $5 at home.
She always says, she's like, no, I have $5 at home. I'll give you the $5 when we get home. I have $5 at home. You're like, I don't think you do. I don't think that. Yeah. But she knows we make fun of it.
She's in on the gag.
She did that. If you want to know, we did a Starbucks walk recently, and she goes, can I get 2 drinks so I can have one later tonight? And we're like, no. And that's why we always sing the Greatest Showman song, never enough, never enough. You're like, I love this kid to death. It's just so funny because it's so blatant with kids and teens. Like, they're bad liars and they're bad at hiding their like flaws as humans because they haven't learned that skill yet, which is honestly honorable. But she has a materialism thing, right? She likes stuff. A lot of people like stuff. She likes stuff. Mm-hmm. She got a new pair. A new pair of shoes for her birthday. Mm-hmm. She was so grateful for like 48 hours, and then she was sending me pictures of the shoes she wanted for Christmas. And you're like, hey, man, we're less than 40
That was in a family group text.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, Christmas list, boom.
These current shoes are less than 2 wears in. It's crazy. I mean, when you start having teens, you're just like, gosh, I miss buying you Pokemon cards for Christmas.
I know, Andy.
Now you want me to buy you a real Pokemon somehow.
Oh, I feel like I get that. That ask is coming in now with my 6-year-old and the stuff they're saying. I'm like, that's like a real thing. You can't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so,
I know that like prices are really high, but have you guys noticed that if you're not buying clothes at like a Target or a discount store, my teenage daughter tried on $150 pair of jeans. She did not buy these.
No.
And I did not buy these.
No.
It was at American Eagle. $150.
And
the shirts are like $50 to $75. And that feels like once you reach the $100 mark, like that.
Yeah.
Shoes, jeans, shirts. I'm like, these numbers went up like $40
at
least.
Well, I remember when I had a year where I wanted to be a preppy kid because the preppy kids got better grades than the skater kids, but we didn't have preppy kid income. So I had $100 for back to school shopping.
This is your 9th grade year? 8th grade?
This is 9th grade year.
Yeah.
And I bought 1 pair of Abercrombie pants. So
khaki cargo pants.
Yeah. And so I was a prep 1 day a week.
Because that $100 got you.
Well, that $100
cargo pants
was usually budgeted out at Fred Meyer or
kind of like a Sears.
The discount rack at like Zoomies, because you could do like you could get a clearance. You could go to Zoomies and get like 3 or 4 shirts. And then or Old Navy. Old Navy's always been affordable. Like $100 at Old Navy could get you
a couple things.
But even skater gear was expensive too. Like if you wanted to get a nice pair of Jinkos, which are popular again now, they were very expensive.
Yeah.
Listen, if you have money, you get to have a more comfortable life. It sucks, but it's the reality of it. Yeah. But that was the most expensive pair of pants imaginable back then. It was $100.
Yes.
It's $150 for just a pair of jeans. That's not even designer jeans. That's not like 7 or whatever. What's the high end jeans?
Yeah. Well, just anything from
back
Nordstrom.
in the day, 7s. Yeah. Because like when I was around 19, 20, and I was looking at Diesels and 7 and some of those brands, and then since I started wearing girl jeans in the emo days, looking at Joe's jeans and some of the other
Mel called you guys little Peter Pans.
Yeah. we should have seen my dagger.
Yeah,
with the little hair.
We moved down to SoCal, and Mel's like, why are all these boys Peter Pans? They have the tightest little pants, the little hair over. Their little dumb hat pulled
30 pounds
back.
lighter, too. Holding down that skinny life, skinny jean life.
You could fly. You didn't want to grow up.
Me and my sidekick and my side satchel.
Yeah. You ran around with a bunch of younger boys.
I mean, listen, we're all in music together. What's the problem?
And your girlfriend got old.
Wendy.
It comes back and Wendy's like 80. She's like...
We were just coming from a place of belonging.
Peter, you were gone for 60 years.
I couldn't wait for you.
And then in Hook, doesn't he kind of get like the side eye for like the daughter or something?
Yes.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
No, at the very end, the girl wakes up and it's the daughter, and you're like, no, no, no.
And does he take the daughter with him to Neverland?
I think so.
Yeah, that's right. I try to think about it through that lens now.
Yeah, I'll never rewatch Hook because it starts off with a bad father. Remember, Peter Pan is a bad dad.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams is a good actor.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I fast forward through the parts of movies that I don't like anymore. Like we with FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy, we rewatched it on Peacock, and the stuff with like the aunt that I didn't like, I was like, didn't like. I don't want to see domestic tension.
Mm-hmm.
If I rewatch Hook, I'm like, take us to Neverland. So get to the Hook part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyhow.
Little Peter Pan, designer jean, $150 for American Eagle.
That's the point. For American Eagle.
That's just American Eagle jeans.
Yeah.
I know.
That was the old Navy, the nicer old Navy of the day.
Old nasty ding.
I got saved because they didn't have our size. Yeah, that's how we got saved in American Eagle.
No, you got saved. You just said no.
Well, no, they didn't have her size, so it wasn't. And she was like, "Mom, these are too expensive." Because it wasn't like she went in there. She was trying on some like sweats.
I think you can buy an actual American Eagle for cheaper than that.
I just couldn't believe that's what it costs now. I couldn't believe it.
It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's do an email and get out of here, everybody. 2-episode day. Mom's hungry. So is Dad. This email right here. This is from Joel, not our son. Joel emailed us, everybody.
Dear Dad.
Subject: most relatable 10 minutes of your podcast ever.
All right.
Hello, Dustin and Mel. My wife and I have been married for 17 years and have 4 kids, so needless to say, we often find your podcast very relatable and relevant to our lives. We love hearing about your life and enjoying that we are not alone on this journey. You are not, Joel. A few episodes ago, I felt like my relationship with this podcast went to a deeper level during your 10-minute dive into Nickelback. As a grad of 2002, the conversation around Nickelback, Creed, and Three Doors Down hits me right in the feels. I am a Canadian, and I feel like the controversy around Nickelback is at even another level here because they are a Canadian band. Our government mandates that a certain percentage of music on the radio has to be Canadian artists, so growing up, they were definitely overplayed. Ha ha! I recently had the privilege of seeing you perform at the Mountain in Vancouver, and it was such a good time. Not sure how you ended up there because my group all agreed that you were worthy of a much grander venue. However, it was awesome to see you in that setting. Thank you for the amazing podcast, Joel. From Abbotsford, BC.
Amazing.
We have become an apologist, and here's the fun thing, is our phone's listening to us, and Andy is on a never-ending, all his reels are Nickelback and Creed right now. He gets them, his whole feed is constantly. Like, you love Nickelback and Creed.
Constantly.
And he sends them to me.
Every time I send it to him, I'm like, I'm just going to keep sending this stuff.
So my social media is all shapewear ads.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, I'm just throwing that in there.
Shapewear is like Spanx?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So there you go.
Huh.
It's just sponsored ads.
Do they make shapewear suits for men, and they're just like muscle suits? They're like the old Hans and Franz things. Being a woman seems exhausting.
It is. It is.
I'm just exhausted at the thought of being a woman.
Yeah, you should be.
It seems really hard, what you're going through.
I thought we were supposed to end this podcast.
We were, but I just wanted to get... it just seems really, really hard.
Thank you, Dustin, for acknowledging.
I think that you are a very strong woman, and I'm really glad that you're raising our daughters. I think you're doing a really good job with them.
Well, thanks. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. No, it just seems like... I mean, I have a bit about it right now, but the social pressures of being like a man they just pale in comparison. They're there. Being a man is hard.
I think both are hard.
I think both are hard, but having been a man and being married to a woman and raising a son and raising daughters, and it's not because men are better or worse. It's just unfortunate societal pressures. I mean, listen, you guys have been voting for like 100 years. When did women get the right to vote?
I'm gonna die on that history. No,
like 1880?
No, like midnight. Like
no,
it's
like
1919. It's like early 1900s,
I was
right?
off by 30 years.
Yeah.
Century. No.
Pre-depression, like I think.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. When are our Susan B. Anthony year? I mean, this was not that long ago. So, like, we can, like, obviously society is progressing for a woman, but I mean, I see it in how certain coaches interact with you and certain, like, teachers and
people, maintenance workers.
Yeah. And it's just, there is, like, there's big words like systematic oppression, and there is an oppression of women historically. Again, your rights. You just started voting. You're new to the workforce. It's there. It is there. But even when there isn't like full on oppression, there is a systematic disrespect and a systematic objectification and a systematic less than. And I feel for our daughters in that world. I'm glad the world is improving for them. I feel for them, but I'm very, very grateful that they have you as a mom.
Well, I think every woman and generation has to like pave a little bit more of the road.
Yeah.
So we all do our part.
But I think that road gets paved exponentially faster when a young woman has a mom who does that. And they see that in the home.
Yeah.
I'm glad that our daughters have you.
Well, thanks.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, folks, want to give a special shout out to our As Essential as Oils patrons. Ooh, that's $25 up a month. That's a big money right there. What you get is you get a special shout out on this podcast at the end right now. So, first up,
April Griffiths.
Adam Bush,
Allison Nelson,
Bonnie Galindo,
Carrie Teague,
Caroline Crimmins,
Code to Grow,
Courtney Eibling,
Damaris Diaz-Stevens,
Dan and Chelsea Morell,
Daniel Owens,
David and Melissa Cox,
Dave Hoagland,
Isaac Teron,
Jason White,
Jennifer Ashley Downs,
Jessica Handurand,
Joshua and Nikki Platt,
Jordan Lara,
Jordan Cowan,
Juliana Smith,
Lori Amos,
Matt and Sam Slosdom,
Nathan and Jennifer Merritt,
Nicole Caroz,
Rachel Wilson,
Rachel Kennedy,
Robert and Nellie Capin,
Stephen Menya,
and Tiffany Payne. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bam.